Alright, we are back. It's been 7 days in the pre-polish. Here's the barrel, and we're going to clean them up and we're going to set them up for the final stage. The polish stage. Here's what it looks like. Looks like we got a little foam in there this time. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, I skipped ahead a little bit. I've gone ahead and cleaned all the rocks, did my burnishing, and we are ready to move on to the final stage, the polishing stage. The rocks right now, if I were to let them dry off, they would probably be a little bit shiny. If you could feel them, they're very, very smooth. So what I thought I'd do is basically this time just do a little better look at some of them before we go. This is the one that had the little kind of ledge on it, and it's going to be a little rough. It's not going to carry anything into the final stage, so it's not going to mess up the stage. So I think with this one I won't go ahead and throw it in, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to come out real well, because that's not going to fix that. A lot of these I think are going to be really pretty good. This one looks pretty nice. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There's a couple in here I'm really happy with. Timing wise, I have a problem. Today is Monday. 1 week in the final stage, the polishing stage, would take me to next Monday. I'm going on vacation next Monday. So I have the option, I can cut it short and do this next Sunday evening to get them out and see what they look like. Or I can wait until I come back from vacation, which will actually be the following Friday. What I'm probably going to do is take a look at them Friday night, and we may wrap them up Friday night. I don't know if I want to do almost 2 weeks in polish. I actually have all the same kind of rock. They're all flint, so hardness wise they're all the same, but beating against each other for all that time could very well, cause some chips and stuff like that. I don't want to mess them up. This one looks pretty nice. I kind of like the ones with the different color patterns in them. Like this one, I think is a really neat rock, and it's very, very smooth, so I think this one's going to come out very nicely. I kind of rigged this because I knew that flint tumbles very well, so I kind of set it up where I was almost assured of success when I started this this video. This one has some pitting in it. I don't know if I can get close enough to actually see it, but right here in the corner there's some little pitting. Once again, I don't think it's going to carry grit forward, but it's not going to come out right. The polish can't fix that. So this is one that when we're done, we'll probably go in something to maybe start in step 2 with a different batch. I don't know if I'd have to go clear back to step 1 to get those out. Maybe, maybe not, but basically I can start it all over. This one, I think, pretty nice. Has some neat color patterns to it. Like this one too. Actually has some translucence to it. It's really pretty nice. On the last video, I do plan to use a different lens and give you a real close-up view of how these rocks came out. Keep in mind when you're looking at them now, they're wet. So basically they all look nice and shiny right now, but I promise you if I stop now and I let them dry off, they would not look like that. Let me see, there's a couple in there I wanted to show before we really move on. This one's pretty nice. And there was one other thing I want to do before we set them to finish up. Okay, here's a nice one. This is that one this was the one that was the biggest one when we started out. It's got a little ridge on it, and it's got a little kind of a crease in it there, but overall it's coming out pretty nice. I like the color on this one. It's got some really neat color patterns to it. This is probably my favorite of the group. I think in just about every group there's at least one rock that just really stands out, and I think this one does. Really looking forward to seeing how this one looks when it's completely done. This is the one that's got a little hole in it there. And that's another one that, I'll have to decide. If that bothers me, I can throw it back in, start in with another group. If it doesn't bother me, I can leave it out. Here's the one that has that crack in it, and to be honest, I think I'm going to set this one aside because there's just no question it's not going through. But I'm going to do something with it in a second. Here's another one that has some really neat color patterns to it. This one has some creases in it, but nothing. Well, yeah, probably be another one that I might start over. It's a nice thing with flint. You get a lot of different color variations. I had a lot to choose from when I harvested this stuff. Really neat area. This one's kind of funny looking. It's coming out pretty nice. This one has some really interesting color to it. Different variations on it. Alright, here's the last few. I kind of like that one. These two look very similar. Alright, now the last thing I want to do, I may do this again after the last stage, but, okay, I'm going to weigh them. Just to get an idea of what we've done to these rocks in the last several weeks. Okay, what I'm doing is I took a barrel and I zeroed my scale out, so now that's off and it's zeroed, and I'm going to put this one on. And it's showing 1 pound, 1.1 ounces. Now here's the thing. When we started, I weighed these rocks before it started, and there was 1 pound 6 ounces. I think 6.8 ounces. So out of 1 pound being 16 ounces, we started with about 23 ounces. We're down to about 17. That is how much we have taken off of these rocks in the time that we've been tumbling them. And I know as a hobby it seems like this takes a long time, and it does, but if you think Mother Nature would take thousands if not millions of years to do this. Alright, so now we gotta get our ceramic media in there. Another funny thing you'll notice if you do this is when we get done tumbling, your ceramic media is going to be shiny too. The first time I used it, I got done and I put it in a strainer to dry, and 2 days later it still looked wet, and I realized it was still shiny because I had polished it just like I polished the rocks it was in with. It was shiny, it wasn't wet. This stuff isn't shiny when you first start using it. I may need to add some in. I may add a handful smaller just to kind of cushion them a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay, our final polish. This is probably around 1,000 grit. We'll put 3 tablespoons in. My little scoop is 2, so there's 2. There's 4, and there's 6. Probably a little extra in that one. Okay, this is, it's kind of the consistency of like baking powder or something like that. And we add our water. Once again, I'm going to fill it up almost to the top, but I'm not going to completely submerge everything. Okay, I can see the water at the sides. It's kind of tough with all this powder. Maybe I should put the water in before I put the powder in, but you know, I haven't done that to this point. Okay, let's get the lid set up. Put the lid in. This is our polish barrel. This is not the barrel that these came out of. There we go. Got that in there. Put the main lid on. And we are ready to go for another week. So in either 6 days or probably 14 days, 12 or 14 days, if I don't think they're ready at the end of 6, we'll be back to see our final results. As a footnote to this video, I realized just after I turned off the camera, when I weighed the rocks, I had taken this one out. Okay, so in terms of weight, this rock would add 0.4 ounces. So, you know, it's still a pretty significant loss in terms of size. Also, just to show you, this rock has now dried off. So this is what they would look like after 3 stages. Okay, if you let them dry off. Okay, and it's very smooth other than where it's cracked, but it's not shiny. It's definitely, I'll keep this one separate, and when we do bring them out of the final stage, we'll do a comparison, and you'll be able to see the difference that final polishing stage makes. Okay, see you in 6 days or a little bit longer than that.